Dintle is now asking Nhloso if he ever really loved her because she's starting to think that maybe she forced Nhloso to marry her since she didn't want to remain just a side chick, and she's now accusing Madlomo of bewitching Nhloso. The boys tend to Halalelo for answers, and Bafana goes to the police and shows them a picture of the boys with Mpumi at Level Cafe. Hi, welcome to my channel. Here's an update on scandal. So Udintle confronted Nhloso's mom, saying, I know that you think that I'm the reason why Nhloso is sick. Kanye heard you talking to Madlomo, telling her that I gave Nhloso a love potion. And then Nhloso is like the traditional healer. That's what the traditional healer said. But Udintle's like, did he say my name? Because na ke tlhaloganye why e le nna o mo tšisitseng. Because if you're saying that they're saying that the person that gave her the multi stopped giving him, that's why now it's making him sick. So now don't you think I would have continued because I want my marriage to work? What about Madlomo? Madlomo is the one that had a motive. Nhloso is the one, he's obsessed with Madlomo, and he kidnapped Madlomo, not me. But Nhloso is like, you're not innocent in all this. You came back to Nhloso's life wanting to be a wife, and so you had a motive. Then Dintle goes to see her therapist and asking him all these questions, which I'm starting to think that maybe I forced things, maybe I forced Nhloso into marrying me because I did not want to remain just a side chick. I wanted to be a wife. So maybe when the wife decided divorce because she did not want the polygamy, Nhloso decided, let me just marry her. And maybe he did not want this because he still loved his wife. Now, therapist is like, you're asking the right questions, but you're asking the wrong person. So you need to go and ask Nhloso these questions. Udindle's worried because Nhloso is not talking to her. Apparently, he's barely even looking at her. And then Dintle goes home to ask Nhloso the questions. Nhloso is just sitting there like a zombie. Auntie, I've got questions to ask you. Please answer me truthfully. Now, Udintle is asking Nhloso, did you ever really love me? Yeah, banna. Nhloso just keeps quiet. Ari, or your heart has always been limadlom. Nhloso took a big sigh and said nothing still. What does this say to Dintle? Is Dintle just going to conclude Horivele that's the truth? Nhloso never loved him. It was just a fling. It feels like Nhloso confused a fling with love. Dintle was fine as a side chick. The whole marriage thing and losing Madlomo got to Nhloso. He wanted to have his bread buttered both ways, but it didn't make that way. So now he's collapsing. And then the boys realize we need to put some pieces together. They look at on their phones to find pictures of what really happened, to try and figure out what happened that night, but there's nothing. And then they decide Usuntutu must go speak to Halalelo because Halalelo was at the party and find out maybe she can help them put some pieces together. And then Khalele tells Tutugo, so apparently they slept together that night. They went to Khalele's apartment and slept together and then went back to the party. But Khalele left because Tutugo was crying over his girlfriend, saying that he cheated on her. Now, Tutugo does not remember any of this, does not remember sleeping with Khalele, does not remember any of these things happening, and said that Khalele was like, I'm not usually like that. I usually do this with people that I meet for the first time. Tutugo was like, yeah, you seem like a nice girl. Maybe we can be friends or see each other again. Khalele was like, nope, I'm going to delete your number. I think she still had to he ghosted her. After what? After they had their one night stand. And then Oken tells them also he does not want to be part of this, but hey, don't forget because you gave us those pills, so you don't get to choose who you don't want to be part of this anymore. They looked through his phone to find out if he had any footage to show what happened that night. And Oken's phone turns up a picture of Untutugo with Mpumi. They look fine, they look cozy. So Untutugo was scared, saying that he needs to delete the picture because he's going to end up in jail. But no, man, if anything, this is evidence. This can show that you guys were fine. This can be evidence, so you shouldn't delete it. Let's keep it. And then boyfriend Ubafana goes to the police station and tells them he had a big fight in Mpumi, and that night that he died, the night that he disappeared, and he went to Levels, and then but the detective is like, why did you come out sooner? I was scared because boyfriends are always the first suspects when something happens to their girlfriends. And then shows detective the socials Pumi posted a picture with the boys. Tugo, no Oket, no Poet, they're there. Now, detective will start looking into them because they appear on my socials meaning they were the last people that were seen with him. And then Udivet has decided to leave his bottle store and go back to Freiberg because Utsid is dying, Galuk. And asked Gasa not to tell anyone because he does not want Utidi to know that he's already planning a life without her, and asked Gasa to be his best man. Gasa was happy, but he went to tell Kiriboni, obviously, and Kiriboni went to tell Tidi. Tidi is now panicking, saying, Divet cannot do that. I'd rather die than to go back to Freiberg. Divet must not sell his bottle. So, You need to tell him the truth, or else she needs to find a reason to tell him to stay. Now, Kate is distracted. Gasa decided to throw a bachelor party for Duvet, and they're chilling, but Kate is not there at all. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye.